welcome back to Espresso with Salt. Join me today for a shot of espresso and a little bit of show and tell, along with a story about Paul Harrell. One of the things that we've come to the conclusion of is maybe grinding the beans on camera isn't the best way to go. So we've already ground still number 6 grind for 11 seconds. But one of the neat things I wanted to show you was this LBV. Why am I showing you just a regular LBV? Well, not really a regular LBV. After Paul got sick, one of the things that he was doing was selling things, trying to make sure his family was taken care of. And I think he had a little bit of a worry about that, as we all would. We were at the Monmouth Gun Show, and I knew he was going to be there selling some stuff. His friends and his relatives had offered to buy some things from him, but he did want to give everybody an opportunity to pick stuff up. And when I saw his table there, this was sitting right on the table. I said, Paul, that's not your vest that you've been wearing for the past 15 years, is it? Yes. Now, granted, he's taken off, the canteens and holsters and such, but I said, well, what do you want for it? 20 bucks? Pfft, sold. Here, it's mine now. Thank you very much. I am proud to have it. I think Paul didn't recognize, his value to some of us. I think had he realized it, some of you may have been more than happy to bid on this stuff, auction-like, and pay a lot more than 20 bucks for it. But I was lucky enough to have been there, and I actually showed up an hour after the gun show started, maybe a half an hour. It had been on the table a little bit. Oh man, this espresso's looking fantastic. I am excited for this espresso. It's going to hit the spot today. Check that out. Oh. Oh man, that is good. All right, now back to some more show and tell. Paul also had a video called How Does Barrel Length Affect Accuracy? This is a Dan Wesson Pistol Pack. Comes with an 8-inch barrel, a 6-inch barrel, a 4-inch barrel, and 2-inch barrel, 1 7/8 barrel. It's a .357 Magnum. I had already talked to Paul and picked up a couple of his firearms from him that I wanted to get from him. I didn't need a lot, and we'd kind of talked about it, and I could show them to you at another time. But a couple months before he passed, he showed me this, and he said, I think you're pretty much, one of the only members of the crew that would really appreciate this and want this. And I said, well, yeah, I would actually buy that from you, and I'll pick that up from you after you're gone and send the money to your wife, and I'd love to have it, is basically what I told him. I've already taken it out and shot it, and it shoots like a dream. I'm more than happy to have it. There is one issue that he told me about this pack that he found when producing that video, and that is every time you interchange barrels, you have to resight it in. It won't hold. It'll be close, but you still have to sight it in. You really do, and it just changes the point of impact enough that you got to do it. No, I have changed out the barrel once, and I'm probably going to leave it on this 8 and call it good. Anyway, let's have a little bit of Paul's stories. We were still working at the building supply company, delivering sheetrock, and we're out on kind of we're out in the pucker brush, in between Silverton, Oregon and Silver Creek Falls, of which there's very little out there except for woods and fields and forests. And Paul had to use the bathroom. He had to use it pretty bad. We were looking for a place to pull over when we thought we found the perfect spot for him to pull over. So we jump out of the truck and we take care of business, get back in the truck, when we realized the whole right side of the vehicle had sunk into this marshy ground that looked like a good place to pull over, but for an 85,000 GVW fully loaded flatbed, definitely wasn't. We were standing there looking at each other. No cell phones. This would have been 88, maybe 89, maybe. I didn't work there that long. It's probably 88, so no cell phones. And no way to get in touch with anybody. We're out in the middle of nowhere, fully loaded truck, no way to go anywhere. When somebody pulls up in their pickup truck, looks out the window and says, "Hey, you guys want me to pull you out?" Well, I looked at Paul. Paul looked at me. We're like, "Yeah, sure, buddy. Pull us out." Well, funny thing was, is he says, "Okay, I'll be right back." Now, here we thought he was going to try and give it a whirl with his truck, but he came back about 15 minutes later with an empty dump truck. Pulled us out, and away we went on to the next job. Another story for you guys. We were hauling drywall into a very large project, and so that there were multiple crews out there that were stocking drywall into this job. And Paul looks over at me and says, "All right, let's take the drywall packing record." "Okay, Paul. No problem, man. Let's do it." So we called over the other crews and said, "All right, we're going to go for the sheetrock packing record. You guys can match it or beat it if you want to. We'll show you what we can do." We pulled 7 sheets of 4x12 half-inch. And because of where we were packing it, this was actually going on to our left arms, and we were both right-handed. The problem with it wasn't the weight, but it was the fact that the drywall was actually up beyond the palm of your hand and into your wrist, because it's, so wide with the drywall. We did that full pack, packed it onto the job site, and nobody else wanted to take a whirl at it. They pretty much called us the champions, and that was it. Later that day, we also, in front of everybody else, grabbed 5 sheets of 4x12 5/8 and carried that in too. It seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but the two of us were each able to carry a full bundle of 2 sheets 4x12 5/8 by ourselves. So, adding one more sheet to that, once again, it just had more to do with how far up it went your wrist than anything else. I'd like to show you guys some more of my goodies that I got from Paul, if you're interested. Maybe we'll do some shooting videos down the road too. I have to admit, I have not been shooting as much as I should, and so I am looking at getting involved at my local range here, and I shouldn't take me long to get back up to speed. And if you're interested, if you want more than just stories and show and tell, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you guys. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you next time.